History is often written by the victors, their triumphs etched in stone and celebrated in books. Yet beneath these familiar tales lies a deeper, often overlooked narrative, one that pulses through the very soil and echoes in the wind. There's another story, one carved into the wild landscapes of a continent, where every river, mountain and plain holds memories of those who came before. It's a tale of survival, cunning and warriors who became legends by mastering their world long before outsiders arrived. These were people whose lives were inseparable from the land, whose every step was guided by generations of hard-won knowledge. The land itself, wind, plains, forests, was their greatest weapon, a living ally that shaped their strategies and shielded their secrets. The Comanche, Apache, and Iroquois each forged empires from their environments, separated by distance but united in spirit. Their cultures thrived in harmony with the land, drawing strength from its challenges and abundance. They fought not just for territory, but for their way of life, using their surroundings with genius that baffled their enemies. Every tree, every canyon, every shadow became part of their arsenal. These nations proved that a small, determined group with superior knowledge and mobility could hold empires at bay, outmaneuvering larger forces with skill and daring. Their stories are lessons in strategy, adaptation, and the enduring power of the human will. They remind us that true mastery is not just about conquest, but about understanding and respect. This is the chronicle of how entire cultures perfected the art of war and survival, blending them into a single, seamless discipline, one that continues to inspire and teach us today. The southern plains, an ocean of endless grass, shaped by brutal weather and fierce winds, stretching as far as the eye can see. For the Comanche, these vast lands were more than home. They were a kingdom, a realm where they reigned supreme. The arrival of the horse changed everything, transforming the Comanche from foot soldiers into the world's most formidable light cavalry. Comanche warriors were born in the saddle, learning to ride before they could walk, their power rooted in unmatched speed and mobility. They could appear from nowhere, strike with lightning speed, and vanish into the grasslands before their enemies could react. Their domain, known as the Comancheria, was an empire built not on cities or walls, but on constant movement and mastery of the open plains. In battle, they were a whirlwind, firing arrows from horseback with deadly accuracy, using the land itself as a weapon against their foes. They avoided static fights, instead luring enemies into carefully planned traps, and picking them apart with relentless hit-and-run attacks that left opponents exhausted and confused. This mastery of war and survival came from brutal training and a nomadic life spent following the great buffalo herds across the plains. The Comanche dominated the plains, controlling vital resources, shaping the flow of trade, and dictating the terms of both war and peace. Their legendary horsemanship and innovative tactics made them the undisputed lords of the southern plains, feared and respected by all who crossed their path. Few could ever match their speed, skill, or command of the land, a legacy that endures in the story of the southern plains. The American Southwest, sun-baked rock, endless desert, was Apache country. The Apache, a collection of bands, mastered the harsh, mountainous terrain. Their strength was intimate knowledge of a landscape lethal to outsiders. They moved like spirits, striking with stealth and vanishing before a counterattack. Apache warfare was guerrilla warfare. Hit supply lines, pick off stragglers, and disappear. Survival skills were legendary, traveling days on little food or water, using every part of their environment. The desert itself became their ally, wearing down pursuers with heat, thirst, and exhaustion. Psychological warfare was key. Their reputation for ferocity and elusiveness terrified enemies. Smoke signals and unsettling signs made their numbers seem greater, their presence everywhere. For soldiers in Apacheria, the silence of the desert was more terrifying than battle. The Apache were the ghosts of the desert, unseen, unpredictable, and nearly impossible to defeat. In the dense forests of the northeast, the Iroquois Confederacy, Haudenosaunee, reigned supreme. Their world was a maze of woods and rivers, demanding mastery of stealth and ambush. The Iroquois were not just warriors, but brilliant political organizers, uniting 6 nations under the great law of peace. This alliance allowed them to coordinate military and diplomatic efforts, dominating the region for centuries. In battle, they used surprise attacks, complex ambushes, and disciplined organization. Their society, symbolized by the longhouse, fostered unity and collective purpose on and off the battlefield. Controlling key river and lake routes, their power shaped the destiny of the Northeast. The Iroquois were the keepers of the eastern woodlands, a force of strategy, unity, and resilience. For the Comanche, Apache, and Iroquois, survival and warfare were inseparable. A warrior's first battle was against the environment, hunger, thirst, and the elements. Training began in childhood, hunting, tracking, enduring pain, and reading the land. The Comanche followed buffalo herds, using every part for survival. The Apache mastered conservation, surviving on little and knowing every hidden water source. The Iroquois developed agriculture and used the forest for food, medicine, and shelter. Adaptability was their greatest trait, constantly evolving tactics and technologies. They embraced new tools, from horses to firearms, and turned enemy strengths into weaknesses. Their ability to learn and innovate was the key to their endurance and influence. The legends of these nations were forged over generations of conflict and survival, shaped by the relentless challenges of their environments and the ever-present threat of invasion. Each story, passed down through the ages, is a testament to their courage and ingenuity. To face the Comanche was to face a storm, swift, unpredictable, and overwhelming in its force, their warriors striking with the fury of thunder across the open plains. To be hunted by the Apache was to be stalked by shadows. Their mastery of the land made them nearly invisible, their presence felt only in the sudden silence before an ambush. To fight the Iroquois was to be lost in a green maze, where every tree could hide an enemy and every path led deeper into uncertainty. They cultivated fear as a weapon, war cries echoing across valleys, the chilling silence before battle, and their fearsome reputation demoralized enemies before the first arrow flew. Discipline and resilience were their foundation, enduring pain, hunger, and hardship without complaint, forging strength from adversity and unity from struggle. Their stories remind us that history is shaped by small, determined groups who refuse to be broken, whose willpower and spirit outlasted even the greatest odds. The Comanche held back expansion for decades, their dominance over the plains a barrier that few dared to cross. The Apache tied down armies, their guerrilla tactics and relentless resistance confounding even the most disciplined soldiers. The Iroquois built a political powerhouse, uniting nations and shaping the balance of power across vast territories. Their power still echoes in the landscapes they once ruled, in the rivers, forests, and plains that remember their footsteps and their battles. Their legacy is not just warfare, but a profound understanding of the world, of nature, survival, and the deep connections between people and the land. They proved that true mastery comes from making the land an extension of yourself, living in harmony with its rhythms, and leaving a mark that endures through time. The sagas of the Comanche, Apache, and Iroquois are timeless lessons in survival and strategy. They teach that the deepest strength comes from understanding and adapting to your environment. Mobility, cunning, and choosing the battlefield were their keys to victory. Their discipline and resilience show that the greatest battles are won within. Survival is an art requiring creativity, intelligence, and respect for the forces around us. Their legacy proves that a smaller, agile force with unity and knowledge can challenge empires. They are a reminder of what's possible when human ingenuity is sharpened by adversity.